Consistency versus strategy. Who would win in a fight? Hello, everyone. My name is Tessa, and I'm the Director of Marketing at IdeaPros. Today, I have a really fun show for you all. We're going to actually head into the boxing ring to find out who would win, consistency or strategy. And I have a special guest today to help me with this topic. She's my favorite strategist out there, just hands down. She's amazing. So I'm going to introduce y'all to Kai Alday. Hey, Kai.
Hi.
And
Happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so excited because she's actually a business coach for Move to CEO, which I have the pleasure of being able to work with Kai on a regular basis. So I wanted to bring her in to have her tell you guys or to have us battle out this with you. So we're literally going to battle out consistency versus strategy. So if you're in the chat with us watching live or catching the replay, let us know. We're going to be asking you guys who wins each round. So get your fingers ready too, because we'll be having you type if consistency wins or strategy for each round that we have today.
And I'd actually like to know before we start, which
yes.
one do you all think would win in a battle?
Oh, good point.
In the boxing ring, which one would it be?
In the battle in the boxing ring, would it be consistency or strategy that would win?
And you can just put C or S, so you don't got to type out the whole thing. Okay?
We don't want you to go out. We want your brains here with us, not typing. Although I had to spell check it because I was like, am I spelling that right? Consistency. Ooh, Vanessa thinks strategy. Awesome.
Okay. As a strategist, I feel you all. So just saying.
You guys might have an idea of who chose which side in the beginning on this. So Kelly says, see, Katie, it's a tough one. Yes. Very tough.
I would be surprised, actually.
Yeah, I think this one actually really did surprise me what we're going through with Kai. So I am going to let Kai share her screen and we're going to go through this together. So keep letting us know in the chat. We're going to make you do some work today for sure. So consistency versus strategy. And I was telling Kai we needed to put up our fists for that photo.
Cups, and they do like that.
There we go.
Okay, so let's get started. So representing consistency today is going to be Tessa, and representing strategy is going to be myself.
Oh, so this is fun.
Tessa is actually going to be starting with consistency on round one. Okay, so Tessa, what is your argument?
My argument is it builds momentum. So consistency builds momentum, which is a good thing.
I don't disagree. But momentum in the wrong direction is pointless.
Ooh, that was a low blow, Kai. Low blow. True, but low.
Yes. Okay, well, what is your feedback?
Oh,
so she did this with me beforehand.
Yes, we did have to have this prepped.
So
direction means nothing if you aren't taking consistent action. If you're just sitting there, you have to do something.
I do agree. So on that round, let's see who the winner is. You guys, we're just going to go to it because we don't have a ton of time today. So I just want to make sure. So consistency wins the first round. But will it win all 3 rounds? That's really the question. Okay.
I love it. And sadly, I did download a ding. So we had a bell, but it's not, you might be able to hear it. So I'm just going to play it. And who knows, you might be able to hear it.
Can we hear it?
Let's see if it actually lets you. It's not playing it loud enough. I don't know if you can hear it. My mic is very good at stopping sound. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so consistency wins.
Yeah, so now it's my turn to start. So round 2, this is what I would say. Strategy provides a more direct path because it begins with the end in mind.
I gotcha. Well, and this is something I tell people all the time. So I completely agree with Kai on that. You do have to start with the end in mind so you know where you're going. However, waiting on your strategy can keep you from ever starting. I think this is what actually a lot of partners at IdeaPros, a lot of entrepreneurs get stuck in this place. They think that they need something else in order to be able to build their audience or to be able to put up their website. I see them all the time saying, I don't want to launch my website. I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I don't know my strategy. So I tend to say, you need to start somewhere, because you can't wait forever.
Correct. So I do agree with you on that. But my rebuttal is that lack of a strategy means that you'll need to restart or pivot or do it over and over and over and over again, which wastes time, energy, money. Right. So
yeah. And we saw this with our own business with Move to CEO. How many times have we pivoted? So by at least 3 times we pivoted because we didn't take the time to figure out our foundational core of the business and that strategy. So if you don't take the time, you're going to do this over and over.
So,
you can't Tessa, see it. Hold on.
Our time. Is it possible to make this?
Yes.
Is that better?
How about that? How about that?
There we go.
Okay. There you go. Thanks, Odin.
So for this round, thank you for letting us know, by the way. So for this round, the winner is strategy. So right now we are neck and neck.
Ding, ding, ding.
I think you all would think, because I'm a strategist, that strategy is going to win. And maybe I do win. Let's see. So round 3. Let's see.
I love how Robert says procrastination is painfully strong. It is. Yes, I need to get one more thing right. All right. Round 3. Consistency creates a routine and habit. I think this is me. Consistency, if you get into the habit of posting, even if it's not perfect, you get into a routine. It gets, you can do it easier.
What does the strategist say? Well, this is what I say. But what if you're creating an unnecessary routine or habit that does nothing but take up more of your time?
Oh, left hook. She's dirty.
Yeah.
I'm dirty. Well, we can learn from anything that we do. So if that's the case, if we're learning that it's not the right matchup, if it's not the perfect, outcome, then at least we're learning something and creating a new neural pathway.
Yeah, this is true. Okay, so I would say on this round that you actually win. So wins, and this is coming from a strategist. And for those of you, everybody voted for strategy. And here's the thing, is that I will always advocate for a strategy. 100% always, because I don't like to redo things over and over again. I like there to be strategic action. It just makes more sense in the long run. But why do you think consistency wins over strategy?
Well, I think you just have to make forward movement. You have to be moving. You can't just sit and wait for strategy to happen or to plan it out perfectly.
Right. So we do these strategy workshops with people, and so we have these beautiful papers and they're filling in all the stuff. Really, but at the end of the day, and oftentimes they will put it on their wall for people to come in, they're, the people who they're working with, so that they can see what the strategy is, right? And so they will come in and they will look at these strategies. But at the end of the day, if you don't do anything, then the strategy is just a wish list. It's just like that's a nice journey, right? So if you were to go into Instagram, or into Airbnb, and you're like, oh, I want to stay here and I want to stay, and you have like this wish list of places you'd like to go. That's what your strategy becomes when there is no consistent action. And here's the thing is, you can have a strategy and you can have action, and it's still not reliable if it's not consistent. Because if I do one thing on my strategy and I'm like, okay, it didn't work, then how do I actually know that, right? And if I only do it every few months and I'm not actually being consistent about it, then I'm still getting unreliable data based on the action, right? And so consistent action always wins out for me. And here's the other thing I would say, Tessa, is it okay if I keep going?
Absolutely. We've got plenty of time. You guys, you should take advantage of Kai. So if you're thinking of a question, type it into the chat while we have her. Do it. Ask questions.
Yes. Oh, and I love what Vanessa just said.
Oh,
Can we share that?
Yes. If you have a dream and don't act on it, then it becomes a
It
nightmare.
does. It becomes something that you're always wishing you had done, and
Mhm.
always something that it's almost like, that to-do list that like nags you all the time sitting on your desk and you never get to it. It's that it becomes this like sore spot in your business, right? And so here's the thing I would say about consistency. Consistency may lead you in all different directions, right? If I don't have a strategy, and I'm consistent, so I'm taking consistent action, then what happens if without the strategy? Well, I might go down the wrong path. I might be working backwards. I might be doing things that don't need to be done. But here is the difference, is that at the end of the day, I'm still learning something from that. I'm learning what did and didn't work. So as long as I'm paying attention to what I'm doing and to the results that are happening, I'm still learning something from that, and I can pivot. Now, yes, it will take you longer, right? Which is why I'm a huge advocate for strategy, because one of the things is, if something takes us longer, it's not that you can't make it. It's that typically a lot of businesses, they get exhausted, right? There's fatigue in feeling like I'm not going in the wrong direction. I'm not making results, which is why momentum is so important, because emotionally it does help you keep going, be persistent, be consistent, right? But when you're not and you're being consistent, you're like, I'm doing it, and nothing is working. There's this emotional, like, I can't do it anymore. Like
I'm fed up.
everything's wrong. Right. So I do think the power move, I think somebody said it in the comments, but the power move is really consistency with strategy coming together.
Absolutely.
And that is obviously the best of both worlds. But why would I say consistency still wins? Anyone have a guess?
Let us know in the chat. Why would you say it still wins? I know we have, this is really interesting. While you guys are contemplating and typing, Kelly says, being consistent is very important. Well, when setting a goal towards something such as working out, and boxing is about creating a strategy. Got it. Yep. Well, I think we don't have, everyone's kind of got quiet, or they are afraid to answer because we blew them out of the water. No.
That's what it is. That's it. I'm going to choose to believe that.
Right.
And here we have Patrick saying, what if you have a strategy, but consistency is for later when ready to launch? I see what you're saying. I would tell you that's what a lot of people do. What do you have to say about that?
Well, they think that, so consistency, I think, where you all are at, so your products or apps are not fully launched yet, you're still in the baby stages, let's just say. It's the best time for consistency. It just may not be the consistency that you're thinking in your head for the product or app. It's consistency in building your audience and understanding your target, your audience and what they need. So it just takes, it looks different. Consistency just looks different when you're earlier in your phase, but definitely building your audience. I know we have Sage Scheduler on here who has 90,000 followers already that he can tap into when the time comes. But you can be making consistent action towards your business, building your business, looking up the people, find the list, see where you want to research your target, where you want to focus in on first. So it may just be different, not posts.
Yeah. And I would say, the reason that I say consistency works or wins out over strategy, even as a strategist, is because sometimes you don't have the time to step back and to do that strategy session. Sometimes you don't have the resources because it can be expensive to get a strategy. So I understand that, but I never think that a strategy should stand in the way of you taking action, because a lot of people do that, right? We wait till everything is together. We wait for everything to be perfect. Okay, I have my strategy in place. I have my branding. It's great. I have my whatever. And Tessa and I have done this before. I've done this several times in the start of my business. And I will tell you from personal experience and from the people that I've coached, without the consistent action, just taking those steps forward, no matter you don't have the strategy, no matter you don't know what your branding is, no matter what, you are actually talking to people at that point. right? If I'm consistent and I'm getting out there, I'm consistently networking. I'm consistently doing my IPAs, right? Income producing activities, whether that's talking to people, getting on free calls, whatever that looks like. I am learning something from the process, and that feeds my strategy and actually makes my strategy bigger. Because here's the thing is, when we do a strategy, let's say we do a strategy together, we're going to lay it out. It's all based on what we think is going to work.
Current assumptions.
Exactly. Based on maybe things you've already done. If you've already done it, we're a step ahead. If you haven't done anything, we are making assumptions based on the market, the industry you're in, etc. And then what happens is you're going to take these consistent actions, and then we look at that action and we say, did that work? Did it give us the result we were looking for? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, now we have to shift and pivot in the strategy at this point. Right. And so that is technically how a strategy would unfold, and how you understand, okay, is this the right strategy? Does something need to change? Is through the consistent action. So I would still say, never let not having a strategy or not having the money to invest in a strategy hold you back. Absolutely. You can always learn how to do a strategy. Like, I'm not going to foo-foo on that idea. And you can create yourself a strategy, but there are probably things you could be doing with your time that will create better results for you. And if I had to, like, let's say, like, if you handcuff me, you're like, you tell me what I got to do. I would say, what is the end goal? Right. So
that's the part of strategy that you really do need. You have to have that end goal. You have to understand a path eventually. And maybe it is a baby strategy. Maybe it's a small one. It's like it has 5 little tiny steps, and that's what your strategy is. And to get to this goal, I have to accomplish X, Y, Z. So really, you at least have a basic version of where you're going. But I love what Regan said, because activity can still take place even when you don't feel like it. So that's another vote for, consistency. Even if you don't feel like it, even if you don't know that that's the perfect fit, you can do it and see what the results say. So tracking and being able to look at how did that pan out for you is super important.
And I think Robert also said something great. He said, with consistency, you can at least learn from your mistakes and further improve your ongoing strategy. 100%. Right? 100%. So here's the thing is, I want to talk to you guys about one more thing that has to do with consistency and strategy, because this is a hot topic and people keep coming to us asking for this, right? In terms of social media. Okay. So how, it's a hot topic and it's on everybody's to-do list, right? I got to be on social media. I got to be out there. I got to get into the DMs. I got to, whatever it is that you think you got to do. But how do you win with consistency on social media and not waste time when you don't have a strategy? And that is really how do you do that? Because I think all of us have done it before. You try to do what everyone tells you to do, right? You create the reels, you put up the posts, whatever it is, you're consistent and it's still not working. Why isn't it working? And, there are a few essentials that you can add to your social media posts. Like, think about these things as you're creating. And if you have these things, even if you don't know what direction you're going in yet, you will still create upward momentum.
Right. It still benefits. It's still helping people to get to the place where you need them to be.
Yeah, exactly. And you can still create followers, build your audience, build trust, right? Through all of it.
And I should say that backwards. It's not where you want them to be. It's where they want to be. So you're helping them get what they need and get to the destination that they're going to. So it's less about us, more about them and what they need to find or do. But we actually we're doing workshop. Well, it's a masterclass around this topic of posting, getting consistent, because I have so many people that tell me, I'm kind of sort of posting every now and then, and I don't really see any activity or any growth. And most of that is because of consistency. But we do have a masterclass that just tells you how to do this in the most efficient way possible. And I'll put the link in the chat. I know most of our partners already know about this and are slotting into one of our classes as of the last couple of days. But I want to say that it has, we have a testimonial and I wanted to get it on here, but it was just, once I figured these things out, I could create the content that I needed so easily. Like it just flows easily. So the consistent part and the strategy part are also built into that program because Kai and I, that's how we kind of work. Our yin and yang of Move to CEO. She's definitely the strategist, and I'm definitely the content person. That way, I make her come on these shows with me, so we have lots of content. But that link in there, that is the masterclass. I also have the fries. So another way to create more content with less effort. So we'll send that over to you guys. That's completely free. The fries are free. So that sounds funny. It's not like McDonald's, though they have fries that you can get free on a specific day. It is, the fries are ideas of things you can take one piece of content and chop it up into lots of little pieces.
So you're not creating reel after reel after reel, or trying to do the whole viral, what's going to go viral and you're guessing, right? So
but this is aligning with your one strategy piece. So, your bigger potato is definitely in line with where you want to go. So staying on a strategy path is a lot easier while keeping consistent and doing more posting. So
yeah. And so here's what I would say. If you aren't able to come to the masterclass is the essentials, right? If you don't have the time or the finances to really invest in a strategy, join us for the masterclass. You will at least know how to create powerful messaging, all of the good stuff, right? And what you should be posting. And then if you can come for the workshop, that is going to really be the strategy piece of it all. But here's what I would say. If you can't come to either, here are things to remember, right? In terms of the essentials is, who do you serve, right? Who do you serve and how do you serve them? And that should be, when I go onto social media, the people that you're following, they're serving you in some way. It might be emotional. They're making you laugh. It could be that they're educating you. It could be that they're inspiring you, motivating you, whatever it is. But there is a certain way that you serve your audience. So really think about that when you're creating a post. How can I serve my audience today? That's something that's so important. Oftentimes we are so focused, and not you guys, but oftentimes we are focused on how many likes can I get? How can I make this go viral? Can I make, we're focused on vanity metrics, when in the end, creating this know, love, and trust factor is really what matters at the end. Can you be a reliable source for them? Right? So how can you serve them? Think about that when you're creating your post. Also think about, speaking to them directly. I feel like we did an IdeaPros, actually, the last time I was here, we talked about the muse.
Yes.
So go back to that if you don't understand how to create powerful messaging. It comes down to your muse's core triggers, right? And in the masterclass, we will show you how to do it all. Right. But if you don't have the time to join us, hey, go and check out the Muse one that we talked about. And that will really get into the core triggers.
We have a lot of offerings for you guys, lots and lots of resources, because that's what we look for when we're looking for solutions in our business. We're like, hey, is there a template?
Buying stuff. We're like, I just bought this thing. Oh crap, you bought it? Dang it.
Yeah, we have done that before. Literally. We're like, dang. But this one has, this is the Muse sheet, so you can actually print it out. And this is the part of where messaging becomes so much easier. And I love what Odin said here in the chat. I'm trying to bring it up. It is the words that we use and the order that we say them. Yes. Order. And it includes the sales process, of course, get attention, engage, educate, and offer. And yes, that's the other big thing that people forget to do in this being consistent. They forget to actually ask for the sale.
Or a lot of people are focused on number one.
Yes. And yes, so sorry. Number one is get attention. And yes, you need to get attention, but you also need to do each one of these steps. Engage is actually where the value comes in. Kai, you mentioned that somebody has had a smaller list that was actually producing really well. So
600 still to this day.
600?
She has a list of 600 people and she makes more than 20 grand a month.
So
and I asked her, because I had her on a podcast episode, and I asked her, well, how do you do this? And she's like, I consistently show up on my social media. That is how I make all of my sales. And so she does stories all the time and, posts once in a while, but really it's her stories for nurturing. And then she posts throughout the week, a couple of times a week. But that is how she makes the money. And people always are looking at this number. Like once I hit 10,000 people or numbers are great, especially if you are getting their attention, as Odin is saying, if you are, engaging and educating and you are offering, which a lot of people don't do. They're afraid to offer. But
we've been guilty
doing
too.
Those things and all you're doing is getting attention. Think of those, those Instagram accounts where all they do is they have the post and it's inspirational quotes.
Yes, I have
millions of followers. Right. And, there are ways that they make money behind the scenes. But let's say I took that tactic and I didn't have a strategy or I didn't know where I was leading people. Right. I would have all these followers, but they might not line up to where I want to offer them, which is why a strategy is so important. But consistent action, hey, they are getting it done. People are showing up. So even if they realize, oh my gosh, I'm not making any money, hey, they already built an audience and now they can start to pivot and bring this audience down a journey with them. Right. But that came from consistently posting. And all these people are like, I like what you're posting. But their problem is that they only focused on getting attention and they didn't. And I know I've been a coach for people who have thousands and thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers who don't make enough money to survive. So
absolutely.
Keep that in mind. And it's because they're being consistent, but they aren't looking at the results. And that is always, you want to be consistent. You want to be strategic. Remember, that's the power moves together, but you also want to pay attention, right, to what is happening with what you're doing.
And it's hard to look at your numbers. A lot of people, I know Fred talks about x-rays for like market research. I feel like that's the same thing when you're looking at your stats from your website. A lot of people tell me like, I don't know what I'm looking at, Tessa. What does this mean? I have this many people. They did nothing. They left. They bounced after 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, like 2 seconds. Yeah. What does this mean? It means that the page was not what was a match to what you promised or linked them through to. So being able to look at the numbers on your website and say, oh, this means this. And I know we have Regan over there. His website is ranking in the search engines for exact keyword phrases. He has such great content. People find him on the search engine. They go over, they get exactly what they want. And they're happy. They stay on the website. That's the perfect scenario. You want that person to be like, I love this place. I don't ever want to leave, So this has everything I can ever need.
This website.
Yes, bookmark. Let me just hang out here and I love it. When you have good content that leads to the right place and actually is clear on you're clear on what they need so that they can hang out longer, it's a win-win. So if you don't have tracking on your website, please do me a favor and message me, because this is one of the most important things that you can do. I think even bigger than, if you don't know what's happening in your digital world, you cannot change anything. You can't pivot. You can't improve anything. You're just guessing and then hoping. We talk about the post and pray. It's like it's just praying that the audience will come and get to your website, and they may not. So
let's just dispel this myth right now that we all love this movie from back in the day, but if you build it, they will not come. That is not how it works. Okay. So there's stuff that happens before, and a lot of people will tell us this, they're not ready to sell. So why would I start building my audience right now? And you would start building your audience. So for example, we have Sage here. He said, is having a significant audience valuable?
Oh, yes.
Yes, 100% it is. Especially if you are attracting the right people to you.
Right.
So you may not even have your offer yet, but if you are attracting the right people to you, then yes, growing your audience will always be valuable. Always. Right. So,
and I know, Regan, you were putting in that search term. So for him, this one search term, you put it in, you find him every time, because he spent so much time finding that the 144A, bond funding like that. He knows what his audience needs, and he knows how to deliver something that will keep them coming back. So, and Sage, I know you're up to 100. Are you at it? Oh, you're getting to 100,000 followers. He's at 99 or 90,000. It's a lot.
That's amazing. Sage, you can come grow ours. We spend all of our time growing everybody else's. Maybe we need to hire you, Sage.
Oh, absolutely. Well, actually, I was just talking to Sage, and they may become an influencer because he does
Ooh.
have a big list, and so we're working on how to make that. That's kind of one of those transitions that we were talking about, though. You've been posting this, and now you need to make a shift to be able to post something different, and you want to make sure that
Mhm.
you still have that audience
Yep.
staying happy and that they're hanging out and they're still consuming what you have. So we'll be absolutely talking about that soon. And Sage, you're so sweet. He was saying that we should definitely showcase our marketing talent. Well, a lot of my marketing talent is because of Kai. We have a great partnership, and without Kai and Fred, these people who I know are so good at what they do in these industries, like I wouldn't be able to do what I do. But you guys are here, and you are why we
And
do
Odin
this.
too, right?
Yes, Odin too. And Odin has been my business coach. I know you guys know this. I brag about Odin all the time. He actually met with me recently about sales. So if you need a sales coach and someone to sit down and talk with you about how to say things, I mean, I walked away from that conversation. Kai knows I came to her. I was like, I'm so excited. This is so good. I don't feel like I'm selling. And, you just have to find the right people that can inspire and motivate you to be consistent. Odin had this chart where I was filling in like block time. And I remember I was just showing Kai that. I was like, look, this is so, be consistent for yourself. Put your blocks on your calendar, do what you need to do, and then tag us so we know that you're out there sharing and being consistent too.
Yeah. So I just want to round up because I know she told me I
I
was
know.
only supposed to talk for 20 minutes.
I
And
know,
that
you know
never
me.
happens with me, just for the record. Like 30 minutes is like my minimum.
She's
always trying
good.
to
She's
reel me
wrapping it
in.
up, which is exciting.
I am. I'm wrapping
Yeah.
up trying to be better. But just a reminder that the essentials is how do you serve your people? Because I know we kind of walked away from this for a second. So thinking when you post, how are you going to serve them today? Second is, speaking directly to their core triggers, right? So whatever your messaging is, also how do you take that messaging, your knowledge, the value you bring, and then speak directly to their core triggers. And then the last one is give them hope.
Yes.
There is a solution and you are that solution. So positioning yourself, your app, your product as the solution, that just makes the most sense because that's exactly why they should be on your page.
It's why
right?
they're going to take action. They're going to take action because you're a solution.
Yeah.
Like all the templates that I always buy, you're the fastest way for me to get this end result. I'm just going to go with this.
Yes.
But guys, if you aren't already following us, it's move2ceo.com everywhere. So we actually have that on all channels. You can go see us. Now, we post mostly on Facebook, Instagram, and now we're getting very active in LinkedIn. So you can come find us and follow the Move to CEO brand. Obviously, IdeaPros, we're here every week on Friday. So I am going to let you guys go for the weekend. And to all those moms and fur baby moms, because I'm a fur baby mom, I want to say happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Kai.
Thank you.
And all those who are mothers to children and adults for that matter, because it could be our husbands and all those mothering souls. But happy Mother's Day. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend, and we shall see you next week. Have a blessed week, everyone.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
And thank you, Sage.
Oh,
That's
you're
so sweet.
thank you, Sage. You're awesome too. We're going to talk more. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Have a good
Aiden.
one.
Bye.